Yo, what's up, slop enjoyers? I just want to make a video about the new Thomas stuff, but honestly, it's just not that well edited, okay? I gotta be honest. The video's not great in terms of my preferred standard of quality, but I just want to give you guys my thoughts out there, as I'm sure no one else has yet, and just let you know my insight on this new Thomas direction. And kind of just, I don't know, do what I did for, like, All Engines Go when that originally released. So yeah, let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Can you believe it's been 6 years since the announcement of All Engines Go? I mean, okay, not really announcement, but more of leak. And now, 6 years later, we are back in the same situation. So much has changed since then. I mean, not even just me, but in terms of the world and Thomas as a show. We had one of the best years to be a Thomas fan in recent memory, and now we have a brand new reboot. The third reboot this show has gone through. Yikes. But, you know, maybe this one won't be that bad. So Mattel released, as you know by now, Thomas and Friends unveils refreshed look and logo. So here is the current design of Thomas, and due to toy leaks, we knew what he was going to look like prior. But what I'm shocked about is just kind of how good this looks. Like, it's not as good as what came before in terms of CGI, but like, this doesn't look bad. I mean, Thomas's design's really good. Truthfully, the only things I don't like is just the face is really weird. And the bouncing. Because, like, why is he still bouncing in the year 2026? Why does Thomas still bounce? Like, seriously, Mattel, you're just showing that you don't understand Thomas, but I did not expect it to even be 3D. I was expecting this Thomas show to be 2D. It's relatively amazing that we're even getting something, like a show, at all. Mattel really doesn't want Thomas to die. There is a weird bit of controversy with Thomas as of now, and that is this. The artwork and toys themselves. So, as we can tell here, it's Thomas. And then there's model series wheels underneath him. What is this render? A lot of people are saying it's AI. I'm pretty sure it's just an AI filter that goes over the actual renders that they made for the show. Because I don't think AI is quite there yet, and if we get to Toby here, he has these little, like, black things here. I don't think an AI could replicate it with that good amount of detail. But you know, for the renders, they're Percy, yikes. They're passable. But get worse the more you look at the renders. Yeah, we can't just have anything good in Thomas. I mean, we go from a new show look that looks alright, you know, definitely a downgrade from previous CGI. But, you know, we were having something here. And then the face is just not it, bro. And then the bouncing is just so disappointing. And then we get this render. All of them? All of their faces suck? So yeah, there is quite a lot to look at. So let's look at the merchandise before the show. Shout out to MaxMonty1516 for this talk, by the way. This is what we know of the planned merch for 2026. So let's look at the Diecast first. The new Diecast line, pros. Huge list of just amazing characters. I mean, Thomas, Edward, and Henry, through freaking, like, Donald and Oliver. I don't know if we're getting Douglas ever, but amazing! Just amazing! Also, Bill, Mavis, Salty, Emily. We did not think Emily was going to be here for a little bit, I can't lie. Rosie coming back, as finally seems like she's going to be a main character, thank goodness. With Hero, Charlie, Flynn, Rheneas. Who was guessing Rheneas? Even more importantly, who was guessing Scruffy would come back? And also not even look bad. Like, this is honestly, Scruffy doesn't even look bad, I kind of like him. His face is a little odd, but that's a nitpick, okay? This is such a good cast. Also, Bruno. Having Bruno again, low-key is the best decision they made. Honestly, I feel like Michael White can now see what Bruce the Caboose, Bruno's original name, would have looked like in a CGI series style. That's awesome! I love that! That is so cool! But the biggest thing stands out to me is the way the faces look. The faces suck for both lines. What are these faces? Especially James. What went wrong with James? Now, I think James, at least Norman's Trackmaster one, is in model series scaling, because if we look at the removable coal with Gordon's tender versus his, Gordon's coal is a lot more in the tender, and James is way out of the tender, so I have a feeling James has returned to model series scaling. I think the Trackmaster range is not quite dookie, but certainly booty. I mean, okay, pros. Start with pros here. Gordon looks good. Maybe not his face so much, but overall, proportions-wise, he's fine. You know, it looks like Gordon. And it also appears, because now we have these bogies, that the Trackmaster 2 chassis is finally retired. Thank goodness that chassis sucked so much. I just really hope we don't have the return of AAAs too, but I have a feeling we will. Which sucks, takes up too much space, that's a whole tangent. Percy's good too, I guess. I think Percy's the best Trackmaster one, truthfully. I mean, he looks exactly like a Clive Spong Percy minus the face. That's about it for pros though. Cons are just the faces, which I don't fault the toy line for. Thomas is so wide, unbelievably wide. I don't get why. My guess is that there's probably AAAs, which made them stretch him out way more, and he just, ooh, it looks horrible. James. Yeah, the removable coal returning I am not a fan of, because I have a feeling it won't be a peg in the tender. I'm completely fine if it is. I don't think it will be. And that will suck, because it just falls out. Who wants that? No one wants that. Stop giving this to us, Mattel. Good thought, not a good practice. Okay? The magnets on Trackmaster. Magnets. Why in the world does Trackmaster have magnets? Okay, like, seriously. Trackmaster 2's whole thing was going up hills, very steep. And you're telling me that now, with magnets, they are keeping the gear wheels? Those magnets aren't gonna stay on to anything. You can put, like, maybe 2 trucks max. But maybe the magnets will start off strong, yeah, but they're gonna get weaker over time. Also, isn't it more expensive to produce magnets than it is for freaking plastic couplers? It's so frustrating. I feel like they are trying to get onto the Brio market of just generic toy train to try and like get everything to connect to each other. I'm just not a fan. And with the rumors of Wooden Railway returning, I am cautiously optimistic, but very happy it's returning. It's such a good line. But honestly, I would have been okay if they removed magnets on Wooden Railway. That might be a hot take. Going back to the Diecast line, I'm really excited to see what to see what Rheneas will do in the new show. And also what he'll look like. It's cool knowing Edward's back though, because there were some memes about friggin' Rheneas replacing Edward, which was really funny. But it is good to have the original, like, 3 back in the show. It is such a relief. Scruffy, oh my gosh, dude. Have you looked at him? I've gone over him already. He's so cool. For Diecast, it's cool. Henry exists, you know, like, I don't think he's, where's Henry? There he is. I don't think Henry's the best looking one or anything, but he looks cool to have, at least. I'm excited. I really want to know what Edward looks like. I'm dying to know, because if James looks like this, with James's face looking a lot more like Edward's, what's Edward gonna look like? This Diecast line, the worst part about it is they messed up key character elements. Toby has side plates. Why are they gone? Why did they remove them? Why would you do this? It's not even that hard. You just make a skirt around him. Why? Frustrating. Key design elements. Diesel's freaking like, let's look at Diesel real quick. This guy's just a block of cheese. Trackmaster Diesel looks peak over here. That might be the best Diesel we've ever gotten. Maybe minus the face. But Diecast? Bro, he is cheddar cheese, okay? And oh my gosh, don't even get me started on Harold. I mean, the Harold toy, okay, to be fair to Harold, his toy is pretty accurate to what they have as the base. But having Harold look like a modern day helicopter, I feel like gets rid of the timeless charm that Thomas has. I mean, like, it's always, like, the Railway series has, like, always been fine with taking place in modern day, like, it ends in the modern day, but freaking having a modern day helicopter in with all the freaking old engine, it doesn't make sense, and it makes them look really weird. Also, quick side tangent, I get having gray faces for the characters is more unison in design, but I don't know, man, I always thought that was kind of a cool part of the diversity in terms of the style for Thomas, like having meshed in faces like Harold and Annie and Clarabelle. I'm just sad to see that go, especially when it seems they took inspiration from the Series 12 concept art for Annie. Great, good job. But the problem is that didn't look good, guys. Yeah, I mean, okay. There is a point where if we were given these gray faces with the model series, it wouldn't look weird. But I don't know, man. I just like that you can have meshed in faces for some characters. It was cool. Yeah, Rosie's diecast is interesting. She looks very stretched for some reason. And now looking at her Trackmaster, I think the Trackmaster one is better. I mean, look at this stupid truck in the background. That's what I'm loving about these troublesome trucks, is how dumb they look. These guys are my favorite. They are so silly and so stupid looking. It's perfect. Perfect! Yeah, that's pretty much the merch, so let's go back to the show real quick for closing thoughts. Alright, let's look at some pros of the show, because I know a lot of us are kind of scared about it right now. Pros, it will be on YouTube Kids, and that means because it'll be on YouTube Kids, it'll be on YouTube itself. This is a massive win for accessibility. I mean, parents don't have to worry about paying for a streaming service or having to freaking go find it on cable television. Like, no one uses cable anymore. And having it free on YouTube without a streaming service is so good, because that means if kids want to watch more Thomas, they can go to the Thomas channel and look at classic episodes. This gets kids off of the stupid brain rot internet thing that we have going on right now, which is a whole other topic that I feel is secretly putting itself into the Thomas fandom in terms of YouTube, which I'm not a fan of. Massive win. Accessibility. I am scared a little bit, because we can tell it's lower quality, for sure, because it is a YouTube Kids show. That makes sense, you know, ad revenue. I wonder how the writing is going to be. I'm very scared for the writing of the show. This is supposed to be pros, but we're going to a con real quick. I'm scared of the writing. We can tell that because of the bouncing animation, they probably aren't exactly, at least the people making decisions up top, aren't exactly in touch with what makes Thomas Thomas, which is the biggest issue that Mattel itself needs to understand. The writers will probably understand, but Mattel itself needs to understand Thomas is a show of talking trains, and not astronauts, not whatever they did in Blubba. I'm scared for that. More pros. Their designs seem to be good in the right direction, at least with Thomas. Model series styled CGI is a big win. The new characters, too, that they have announced. I mean, Crane Truck J, Anel, and Crane Truck D-Pack are interesting additions for sure. I am a day one Crane Truck J and D-Pack fan. I am hyped for them, but I can't lie, I am a little bit scared for the international character. I don't think it's bad to have one, I just am afraid that we are going to return to Blubba. And no, just Mattel, don't, please no. I don't want that. Because if it is another Blubba, we're just in the same spot as we were like 10 years ago. Let's go to cons, okay? The renders for the packaging. Fine at first, get worse and worse the more you look at them. What were they thinking for the renders? Especially making them have an AI filter over them, as it seems. Why would they do that? They're already just getting like awful PR from this by having AI to most people. So putting an AI filter over toy, why? That's not a good look, Mattel. You know this. I am weirdly optimistic about this show coming out, which, I mean, probably doesn't sound like it, because all I've really been doing is kind of just trashing on the new merchandise and trashing on the way it looks, except for Scruffy. I love you, man. I'm optimistic because I want Thomas to be good. I want Thomas to go back to being such a good show for so many people to enjoy. All Engines Go, we already knew from like the way it looked was a massive misstep. From Blubba, we knew the premise, massive misstep. With this new show, we just gotta be hopeful. There's already a misstep in the bouncing, and the faces, and the merchandise. The main stuff you could get wrong, they've gotten wrong so far. But I'm still holding on to hope that this show will be good, or at least mediocre. I have a feeling the first season of this new Thomas show is going to be very mid, very play it safe. But I'm hopeful that they can build upon it to make something better. This is like the 29th season of Thomas and Friends. Most of it has been 5 seasons of 2 reboots now. But yeah, that's my unscripted thoughts about the new Thomas show. I just want to get this out here more for like a historical archive to see what people were thinking. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed it.